Hi everyone, my name is Jennifer Alejandra Paradias. I'm a foreign language student at the University of Pamplona, and the subject is applied linguistics. And today I'm going to give you an in-depth explanation about the error analysis grid. But first of all, I'm going to give some short definitions about linguistics. So first of all, what is linguistics? It is the study of human speech, like when talking about communication, is including the units, nature, structure, and the modification of language. As you can see, there are some subfields of linguistics, and the first one is going to be phonology. That is basically the study of the sounds in speech in connected terms. Then we're going to talk about phonetics. That is going to be the study of the sounds in a speech in physical terms. Then we have syntax. That is going to be the study of information and the structure of the sentences. Then semantics, which is just going to be the study of meanings. And then we have morphology, which is basically the study of the formation of words. And finally, pragmatics, that is going to be the study of use of the language or languages. Now, it's important to know that linguistics has some important branches. As you can see, there are 7, so I'm going to give a short explanation of each one. The first one is going to be sociolinguistics. Sociolinguistics, it is based in study of the impact of society and on language and linguistics. Then we have applied linguistics. That's going to be the study of real-life application of linguistics. The third one, it is computational linguistics. What is this? It is the study of spoken and written language in the computation and programming. Then we have psycholinguistics. What is psycholinguistics? It is the psychological aspects of language and linguistics. Finally, we have stylistics. That is going to be the study and interpretation of style and tones in languages. Then we have historical linguistics, that are the study of the evolution and the origins of the language. Finally, we have the comparative linguistics, that is going to be just the study of similar and dissimilar aspects of common origin languages. As I told you before, applied linguistics is part one of the branches of linguistics. So this is going to be involved into the with the identification investigation. It is going to provide solutions for real life issues relating to the language. It is interdisciplinary, interdisciplinary field, drawing the knowledge from the different academic fields like psychology, sociology, and anthropology. Now we have the error analysis theory. This is mostly about telling that error analysis is a method used to document the errors that appear in the learner language. It's going to determine whether those errors are systematic and if it's possible to explain what caused them. So an error analysis should focus on errors that are systematic, as I told you, and it is going to be about the violations of patterns and the input to which the learners have been exposed. Okay, so right now we're going to start. Well, as you can see, there are 13 lines in this corpus. So right now, I'm going to start with the error analysis grid. And this grid is going to be divided in different categories. The first one is going to be the line, the number of the line, the error identification, error correction, if it's going to be an error of mistake, the classification of the error, the source of the error, and finally the remediation. So I'm going to start with the title, line number 1. The student wrote Sinsorama, and the correction is Sinsorama. It's a mistake. So the classification is going to be morphological because affecting the structure of the word. It's an interlingual. It might be just a distraction. So in the remediation, the recast is going to be just a reformulation of the title. The second one is in this chapter. The error correction is in this chapter with a comma, so it may be a mistake. And it may be like about punctuation, so I say that it's interlingual. As the last one might be a distraction or avoidance. So the remediation could be a recast, and where the teacher is going to be that the student that to formulate and use the correct use of the punctuation marks. The third one is the student wrote, we can see 2 versions of 2 series with a great popularity. The error correction, the correction is, we can see 2 very popular series is an error. And it's going to be in the semantics. The classification is interlingual. is underused because here is using words that they have the same meaning. So the recast is going to be telling to the student to restructure this phrase to make it direct and easy to understand and to avoid phrases with the same meaning. And then we have in the line number 3, the director Skinner Sheldon. The correction is the director Skinner Sheldon. So it's an error. It's morphosyntactic. It's part of the grammar. So it's in showing well and is classified to the subject-verb agreement. And the remediation that I gave to the student is metalinguistic feedback. I'm going to explain the third person of the singular and the simple present tense, where the verb always ends with an S. The next one is a time capsule time. The error correction is a time capsule. It's an error. It's morphosyntactic, and I said here there's interlingual because there is some Spanish interference. So I'm going to give an explicit correction telling to the student that it is time capsule and it's not in capsule time. It's affecting the structure of the sentences. And then we have that's like a typical tradition, and the correction is that's like a typical tradition. So it is an error. Again, it's morphosyntactic, and again, it's interlingual because there is an Spanish interference. The recast, I give a recast here in the limitation because I'm going to explain that the Spanish is affecting the structure of this text, and yeah. So the next one is going to be each student save their things inside the box. So the correction is each student saves their things inside the box. It's an error and it's morphosyntax. It's part of the structure of the phrase. And it's intralingual and it's part of the grammar and how the student use the plural and the singular. And in this case, I'm going to give a metalinguistic feedback. I'm going to explain that the traditional rule holds that the subject of the sentences beginning with each is grammatically singular. The next one, after in the ceremony, in the moment to start with this. So the correction is going to be after in the ceremony, at the moment to start, and then continue with the sentences. It's an error, so it's morphosyntactic. It's affecting the structure again. Interlingual, that is part of the grammar, and the incorrect use of prepositions. So I give a recast in the remediation part to reformulate the idea with the correct use of prepositions. Well, because the grid is too long, I just wanted to add that the student was making the same errors with prepositions. Most of them were about prepositions. So I want to avoid the repetition by telling you which are the errors over here, because most of them are about prepositions when missing prepositions or the wrong prepositions or putting the prepositions in the wrong place. So I just wanted to add that there are some extra errors are, for example, in the line number 9 and 10, he put the names without capital letters. So I said that it was an error and it was orthographic. And it was part of the reformulation about capitalization of the proper names. And finally, I just wanted to say that this analysis was an interesting way to look into the students' errors, and I hope you understand. And because of the time, it's too long to explain, but that's it. And thank you so much.